Today I imagined to split these presentations in 4 different parts. First, introduction to Excel, then why Excel, and then cover some basics, some basic formulas, navigation, toolbars, etc. And then at the end, Q&A. So we will cover what is Excel, why Excel, and how Excel. So three very important questions: what, why, and how. So let's start with introduction to Excel. What is Microsoft Excel? So Microsoft Excel is the application that is developed sometimes in the 1997, and it's still used extensively to this day. It is used in finance, even in IT, and in all different sectors of the whole financial and professional world. So its purpose is to organize data. Its biggest purpose is to organize data in the visually appealing way. So as we will explore later, two most important things to remember in Excel are the rows and columns. So data is divided by rows and by columns. So it's like a matrix kind of view. And its key features are cells, rows, and columns. As we see on this, as we see here, cells, rows, and columns. So cells is the intersection between rows and columns. So maybe I can rephrase this better. So key features of Excel are the data visualization, data processing with the formulas and charts, and data organizing with the graphs and charts. So let's start with the key benefits of Excel. Its key benefits are data management. One of the most important thing in the I can say in finance, but in other areas as well, is the management of data. When you deal with the data or a client on daily basis, you have possibly maybe 1 million different transactions, let's say, in a month. So it is very important to manage and organize those data so it can be tracked and retrieved easily. So Excel is excellent for that. Excel file has, I think, over million rows of capacity. So if you're checking, I don't know, clients, transactions or something, Excel is very easy to do it. Automation, visualization, compatibility. So for the automation part, Excel uses formulas, but it is also very compatible with, I think, every other application. I can't think of application that IT developed in finance that do not work with Excel. So Excel one of the biggest benefits and its selling point is automation and interchangeability with other applications. So even if you talk about, I don't know if I have experience with the Shopify, Amazon, or I don't know, other big platforms, they all have compatibility with Excel. So you can take the data and download it in Excel and then use it for automation. When we automate and manage those data, next big thing is visualization. You can create many different graphical and visual representation of those data. In the past, maybe a couple of years, another application of Microsoft is taking place for the visualization instead of Excel. It's called Microsoft Power BI, but it is maybe used 20–30%, and the rest of it is Excel. And as we already discussed and said, compatibility is I think is the biggest selling point of Excel, because it integrates well with every other application, Microsoft or other. So that's the introduction to Excel in short, why it is so important and why it is so widely used. It is also, I can maybe say also, because it is developed in 1997, it is maybe more intuitive than these newer applications, because as the time progressed and with the updates, it integrated a lot of new features, but it maintained the original simplicity of many Microsoft applications. So why Excel? As we said, wide application. So it is used in finance, in marketing, project management, in IT. I must stress this. It is used very much in IT also, because if we're talking about applications that IT is developing, they always make sure that we can export them in Excel. But Excel can take the data even from the Word file or the TXT files. So that's why it is easy to develop some report that can be exported to Excel. It can be even in the TXT file. And as I already said, user-friendly interface. So it's intuitive design. I think it's because it's the application that is developed long time ago, and it's still in development. Still, we get updates and new features in Excel to this day, and customization. As you maybe already know, like in Google Chrome or some other application, where you have add-ins or additional applications, Excel also supports add-ins. So you can integrate it with Google Chrome nowadays with the artificial intelligence, with the ChatGPT. You can literally have ChatGPT inside of Excel, and you tell the ChatGPT, you paste some numbers, and you tell them, I don't know, create me a visual representation, or tell me what does those number means. How can I interpret them? So it is very important to emphasize that it is already integrated with artificial intelligence. Here we have some examples of the real world applications. So as I already mentioned, I can maybe mostly speak for the financial side because I have background in finance, but for data analysis, for project management, for inventory management, in my country, there are companies that deal, I don't know, with a couple of million export import items every week or every day, and they all also use Excel for tracking of the inventory. It maybe sounds funny, but it is true. With one application that is Excel, they track all of their inventory. There may be better applications, but Excel is the most intuitive one, and one that has easier entry point for someone who is not who does not have the technical background. These are some of the examples of data. As we see, we can have various reports that are nicely organized, visual representation. Here we have example of the pie charts, Gantt charts. These are just some examples. For example, this may look like some applications or some application or some mobile app, but it is Excel. You can literally you can design it in I don't know, in every way possible. You can have report for management, for the accounting, and for the dashboard. These are some of my examples of my previous projects. I think you get the idea. Here we can see how wide we can go in terms of diversity in Excel reports. Now we get to the most important part of these presentation where we will cover the basics in Excel, navigation, what are the workbooks, worksheet, and so on. So let's start from the beginning with the workbook. Workbook is essentially an Excel file. Each new Excel file is called a workbook. Separate files are separate workbook. And each workbook consists of the different worksheets that we will cover later, but you need to know workbook file is like a book, and the worksheets are like the sheets of paper inside those books. We will go over that a little bit later. And ribbons and toolbars are the different options that you will see inside the application, where we have buttons, functions, and so on to control the data input and data management in Excel. We already covered cells, rows, and columns. They represent how we navigate in Excel. For example, if I say row number 2 or column number K. These are for our easier navigations when I say cell A1 or row 2. And these are some of the basic functions, but we will cover them later. Now let's see visually what do we mean by the rows, toolbars, and worksheets. So we have here an example of the worksheet in Excel. When we first open up Excel, this is what we see. This is the empty blank workbook and worksheet. In the bottom left part, we see sheet 1 by default. It's the worksheet name. We can rename it to anything that we want. Toolbars are the different options that we can navigate. Later we will see we can go to the home, insert, page layout, formulas, etc. For the navigation part, rows are annotated by the numbers and the columns are by the letters. Cells are the intersection of the row and column. If I say cell K, it is intersection of the column K and the row 7. So cell K7 is here. If I say A1, it is here. It's almost like on the chessboard. We have numbers and the letters. So this is basic empty worksheet that we get by default when we open up Excel. Here on the home toolbar, these are some of the most used options. We will cover them a little bit later, but we will go shortly over each of them. We will not go very deep. So for the toolbar on the home screen, on the home toolbar, we have basics: copy, paste, and cut. For functions, we have data formats, font. Almost like in the Word, we can bold certain text. We can use italic format. We can underscore it. We can paint the cell. We can change the color of the format and so on. These are some of the default styles, but we can manually change them here. So home toolbar is where we have our most used functions. For the next part, we go to the insert toolbar. There are many different options, as you can see, but we will just shortly cover it. So for the insert part, this toolbar covers all insertion of data in Excel. We can use automation here, but you need to know it covers. If you want to automate something, we go on the insert toolbar. You can literally go to Word file, copy data and paste, but here we handle automation. If we for example don't want to use manually every time we go to other file, copy paste, we do that here. We can link it on the web or on other application, other Excel file, and so on. You can even insert the maps that represent data in real time. Here we insert graphs and charts for data that we put in. So this is for the insert. Also for the shapes and etc. So every little object or visualization that we want to insert, we go here. Next toolbar is the page layout. I forgot to mention that Excel is also very used when we talk about printing of the files. If we have certain templates that they are each time same template, but only certain data point is changed, we can do that in Excel. We create a template. We link only one cell. I don't know, for example, if we want to print on the paper each day the stock price of certain stock on the stock exchange, I don't know. We can link that cell to the web, and then we print that sheet each day, and number is automatically changed. So this is this is page layout, same as in the Word. We change margins, orientation, size. So This is the toolbar that handles the preview of the page before it goes to printer. So color, do we want to black or white, or color print, orientation, print area, background, etc., scale, and so on. So this is design of print sheet before it goes to the printer. Same as in Word. For the formulas part, this is more for the advanced user. Basically, we have simple formulas that are literally one cell plus another cell. Those are the simple formulas in Excel. But for this more complicated one, we can use this one. There are many, I think over 300 different formulas in Excel. So it is like I don't know, call it on its own. You literally can spend a couple of years learning different formulas. That's how complex it is. So this toolbar, that's why formulas have two toolbar for itself, where they are divided by financial, logical, text, date and time, lookup, and so on. For the financial formulas, I think there are over 100 different ones. So you get the idea how complex it is. We have a couple another toolbars, data, review, view, developer one, we will not cover. I have the developer one, but when you open up your Excel, you will not have it. I downloaded this toolbar to have additional functionalities in Excel, but it is not present by default. So for the data sheet, data toolbar is similar to the insert one. On the insert one, we have insertion of graphs, charts, and so on, but the data one is strictly for linking the data with another Excel files and exporting those data. It is important we can export the data on other applications, so we can literally use Excel like a filter. We take data from one application, insert it in Excel. Excel does its own thing. I don't know, we can automate it to clean the data, then export it to another application. We can filter it out, we can sort it, we can do all kinds of stuff to clean the data. I can say from my experience, this is the half of the work in the finance, cleaning the data, and in other applications, because you cannot take data for granted if you export it from the applications. I don't know if let's say an example, you have your store on Amazon. You want your monthly data you want to export your monthly data, and you want to visually represent it. You cannot just paste those data and insert a graphical representation. You need to go over that data, you need to check it, and you need to clean it, because many times there are certain mistakes or logical corrections for the data, especially if there are different formats from the different countries. For example, in my country, we have a couple of letters that they do not exist in English. So it is a problem if my PC, I don't know, have one format and application has another. So it is handled on this data toolbar. For the review, this is where we check a couple of things like spelling, like in the Microsoft Word, if we want to check spelling, and most importantly, we can protect the sheet and workbook. You can password protect the Excel file. If you password protect the entire Excel file, nobody is able to hack it or open it unless it has password. So we can even insert the comments and translate, but this toolbar is the most important for the protection of the file. So let's go to the view. For the view toolbar, these are the options on how do we want to see our blank file, our blank Excel file that we opened. If you go back just a second, just a couple of This is our blank Excel file. If you don't want to see these lines, or I don't know, if you don't want Excel to show us letters above, we can change that on the view toolbar. We can say do not show me grid lines. We unchecked it. We can say do not show headings and other stuff. We can even hide certain sheets. So sheets are the, let me go back one more time again. I forget maybe to mention, we can add different sheet. We can add as many as we want. I think the limit is somewhere around 250 different sheets, but it is best to use up to 10. Just to easily navigate. If we have an Excel file with 100 different sheets, we cannot navigate very well. We will get lost in the confusion. So we can, for example, if we have 2 different sheets, we can hide one. We can show all sheets and so on. So that's why the view toolbar is used for. We can hide sheets. We can split and so on. So this is also the important slide, just to show you example of the most basic formula. So if you see here, I shortened the whole window just so we can easily see. We have 2 cells where we inserted data. These 5 and this 5 is data that we inserted manually. So we literally typed 5. This cell, D1, this is automatically calculated cell. If you click on the D1 in the formula bar, we see this. So it says cell A1 plus cell B1. So cell D1 is automatic. If we, for example, input different number in the cell A, cell D automatically changes value. So this is what Excel formulas are. It is automatic calculation based on input in different cell. If you put here, I don't know, 3, if you put here 2, cell D1 will automatically say 5. So if you click on the cell D1, we see here what does it do. If we happen to click on the B1, we will only see 5 here. So this is how we know that cell D1 is automatically calculated. This is the example of the most basic calculation, automation. These are some of the examples. We can say even, so we can use subtraction, we can use divide, and so on. We can use any mathematical or logical formula. We can say take, like this one, we can say take A1 plus B1 and then multiply that by 2. Then we would have number 20 here. These are the functions. So we have formulas and functions. Many people confuse them or think they are basically the same thing, but formulas are literal cell that we inputted by our logic. We say A1 plus B1 or minus, but functions have their own name. They start with something, and then in the brackets we just put the range on which the function is referring to. So if we say sum from A1 to B1, it will also sum them, but it is different spelling of the formula. But what if we have A1 to A100? We cannot go over each cell and say A1 plus A2 plus A3 plus A4, 5, 6, 7, 100. We can simply say sum A1 to A100. So functions are easier when there are large amount of data. formulas are simple. When we have a couple of different cells, then we need to quickly add something or divide. But functions are used, we can use them for the whole row. We can say sum column A, however record there is in the column A. Sometimes we have over million different rows in one column. Let's say we have column A and then million records. So we can sum them in 1 second. We just say sum A1 to A1 million. Click enter and then we have the sum. Also, we can count the data. These are the examples. We have sum, we have count, we have average, we have everything you can imagine. So if you know the right function, you can interpret and analyze data very easily. We can even find the incorrect data. There are also formulas. For example, let's say, give me location of the cell where there is value with over the 9 characters. If you know that each cell needs to have, for example, 8 characters, we can find exactly the wrong or unclean data. So Excel in that term is very powerful. This is the example of the visualization of the visual representation of data in Excel. So for the Excel, if we click on the cell and click and insert number 1, Excel always knows that number 1 is in that cell, but we can see it differently. These are the examples. We can see it as a number with 2 decimal points, with 1, without. We can see it as a percentage or as a date. But for the Excel, all of these cells are the same number. These are just a visual representation for us to see. But Excel knows that these are all the same number. So if we say 100% plus 1.0, it will add it to 2. So to recap, we had introduction to Excel. What is Excel? Why it is so widely used, and some of the basic functionalities. I would also like you to maybe ask me a couple of questions or examples, or even we can open Excel and show some specific things. But I think these are the basics of introduction to Excel, because Excel is very, very powerful and complex. I use it extensively daily for the past 7 years. I have my own Excel school. I'm Microsoft educator in Excel, and still I haven't, maybe 20% I haven't covered in my own knowledge of Excel. So I think it has infinite functionalities.
All right, thank you, Peter. We have Columbus with a question.
Yes, Columbus.
Go ahead and unmute your mic. There you go.
My question, Peter, is I hope you are hearing me.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, I was asking how do you insert in data and it becomes automatic, like you put in data and it keeps adding itself. By the end of the data, you already know the total of the data or the sum of the data.
Is it okay if we open Excel and maybe show it on
Yeah,
practical way?
yeah,
I don't know if it is okay with you.
it's okay with me.
On it, let's open it. So Excel is one of the applications that it is maybe most easy to show on with the example. So let's say in the F1 column, I will color it yellow so you can all see it. I don't know if you see it. Yes. Let's say column yellow is equal to sum of all data in A column. So I can insert this data and it is changing. You see here. I'll just, whatever number I insert in A column, it keeps adding up in this F cell. Is this what you meant?
That's what I meant. But then if there are different data in the different cells, so that the sum comes below all the data that you have punched in.
You mean different columns?
Yeah, the different cells, like there is that cell that you have highlighted with 38, then below you get you put like 40, then below the other cell you put 20, then at the end you will see it adding, having
Yes,
added the sum of the whole column.
we can put at the bottom some function, and we can say this is the range.
Yeah.
But what we cannot do is, let's say, this is summing the A column. If you put this formula in A column, and it is saying it is sum of the numbers in A column, it is circular reference. It is going in circle. Let me just show you. If we say here sum of the A column, it will give us an error, because logically we cannot sum this column in this cell, because value in this cell, it has a source in this column. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
We must put it in another column, or another column,
It's like
because it cannot sum itself.
the formula in the cell can't reference itself.
Yes. It is called circular reference. Yes.
Okay.
By the logic, it cannot sum itself.
Okay. I have seen where I was making an error. You have corrected it. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Peter, Peter, I have a question. You were talking before about Excel being able to access information on a web page and then bring that number back into it.
Yes, we can also use that. Let me show you on the.
Like, I know, I would imagine that's very common in finance when you have to keep on the numbers up to date every day.
I have an example of the price of some cryptocurrencies, but it is in Google Sheets. It is the same as Excel, only on the web. We can maybe, let me just try to find it real quick. I would like to show you. Just a second.
Yeah, I've seen that Excel is extremely used for finance nowadays.
Yes,
And the calculations are very advanced.
yes. People jokingly said it's the backbone of the whole world's financial system, but it really is. So we can see an example here where we can say import data, and then we have this address. This is the, I don't know, example of the pancake swap cryptocurrency. It is taking live value for this specific one. Or we can also, I don't know if I have maybe this one. On the web version of the Excel, we have formulas like this, Google Finance or something, and you literally grab the price of the ADA, Cardano cryptocurrency in the US dollars. I don't know if you can see it.
You basically have to know the code for those to bring them in.
Yes, but you can find everything online. You just need to ask the right kind of question, and or also, I don't know if you maybe covered the usage of the ChatGPT or AI. Nowadays, you can literally just ask it, write me a formula that can, I don't know, grab the price of certain stock in the Excel. It will give you a formula, you literally copy and paste it, and you have the data. So AI together with Excel, it is very powerful. These are just examples. Do you have any more questions? I would like to show you as much as you need or want to know, or some specific, I don't know, stuff.
Can you show how to index information so that if you have like a couple of columns of information, you can index some of that information?
How do you mean index?
I've used it in my own Excel sheets. See, how would I describe it? So let's say
there is
I'm trying to
index
think
formula.
of go ahead.
There is index formula if we have example of the, I don't know, let's say we have in column A 100 different names, and we want to find in which row it is named Peter, for example. Then we use index formula, and we put Peter in the variable part of the formula, and it will tell you in which row or in which column it is. So that's index formula. There are, let me just, there are hundreds of different formulas.
Yes.
You see method functions, when we go all, there are many formulas. Important thing to know is that formulas are way to automate things in Excel, or to clean data, or do something faster, maybe. Let's put it like that.
So there's a question. Actually, there are a few questions in chat right now. Let's start with Jennifer. What is the difference between beginning a formula with a plus sign or an equal sign?
So it is basically the same. Excel will recognize it same. I use plus because it is faster. It only uses one button. So let's say we want to add these cells. I say plus this plus this. It's literally the same as equals this plus this. No difference. Excel recognizes it even put automatically equals here where I only put plus. So equals plus or just equals is the same thing.
Interesting.
Yes. Is it possible to sum two different columns? Yes, we can. Let's just put dummy numbers like this. So if we want to add two different columns, we can literally add columns as cells. This is the easy way for beginner. Let's say sum of one column, and let's say here sum of the second column. Now here we can say plus this plus this. But also we can do it in the one cell. We can say sum of this column plus sum of this column. You see here, sum A plus sum B. We can sum different columns, different rows, everything. We can combine everything. Whatever you imagine logically, if it does not break the logic of mathematics and Excel, you can do it.
Okay. Let's see. Can you give us an example of a function?
Okay. Sum is very basic function, but let's find
how about average?
Yes, we can do average. So let's just average is another example of function. Let's say I will show you how you can search for the functions. If we put plus or equals, Excel recognize that we are trying to write the formulas. Here it is giving us most widely used ones. We can go to more functions. Let's search average. It is giving us average, first one. So we can literally put number one and second number and third, and it will give us average, but we can also say average of this row. Okay. Also, if we click on the row here on the bottom right part, it is automatically giving us average, count, and sum every time. So Excel put that because people sometimes in the past people ask for that, and whenever you click on some column or row, Excel is giving you automatically average, count, and sum, because those are the most widely used informations. Whenever you click on the certain column or row, you always want to know, I don't know, sum, average, and count of data. So you don't even have to use the function for that. You can use the, you can see it here.
Which version of Excel are you using?
There are two most used versions right now of Excel. One is the legacy one that was used from 2003 to now. If you're talking about, sorry, maybe important to differentiate it, Excel version and Excel file version format. So I don't know how much experience you have with Excel, but maybe you noticed when you have Excel files, some of them are .xls and some of them .xlsx. Those are the two different versions of Excel. One is the older one, XLS, and XLSX is the newer one. But I'm using, let me just see on this PC, I don't know, just a second. Sorry. I think it's the 20, one before 2016, which was the last, I don't know. But for the file format, it is before and after 2003. Those are the two file format that literally have the different extensions. Let me show you real quick. So we have Excel 97 to 2003 and Excel regular one. If we save the file right now, it is compatible with every possible Excel version you have. So it doesn't even really matter. It could matter if we are using the newest version, and we are using some, I don't know, complicated functionality of Excel, maybe artificial intelligence that that is only compatible with the newest one. Then you cannot use that function for the previous version, but you can always read and edit the data with the previous versions of Excel. Newer version of Excel only give you more options for faster data manipulation and so on. But regarding the data reading, usage, and manipulation, you can always use even the older versions of Excel.
Okay, do we have any other questions? Can we see a graph?
Oh, excellent. Let's just input one. We can use the data that we showed here. We will put it here so we can see it better. Data for, we can select the data when we go to insert page. Just a second, I cannot see because of the post. We go to insert to graph and we see the graphical representation of this data. We can change the graph type even without changing the data. We just go to right click, change chart type. We can use the bar graph, line, column. It gives us a preview. So if you want to use bar graph, I don't know, or column one, we can quickly switch it to the one.
Can you do a tendency line?
Do you mean like the average line, or
Yes.
just a second? We also have that option.
I don't know if it gives you that option there on a bar graph.
We go on the plus, and then we say, let's give us trend line.
There you go. The
Exponential, linear,
trend line.
forecast. Yes, yes. And we have automatic exponential trend line for this data. If you had the real world data and bigger time period, we would have oscillation on the graph, but this is linear one because we have only five.
One thing I find really helpful on that is when you grab that trend line and you ask for the equation of the trend line, it gives you the equation of the trend line right there. Like down below where it says display equation on chart.
Yes, yes, we also have that. So this maybe can be used if you want to add the trend line in another Excel file. Here you have the X and Y axis, and if you want to know how exactly this line is calculated, you have it here, and you can use it in the different application. We have the values for the one chart, for the X chart, and for the Y we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because it is generic. We do not have a real world time period, but so this line will literally be 20 times Y, 8 times Y, 58 times Y, and so on.
All right, we have a question from Samuel. Go ahead and unmute your microphone.
Okay, thank you, Peter and Doctor. This is good information. I'm just wondering with the formulas, seems that if you have less data to enter, then I have to do the equal, then the numbers that I need there, right? Am I hearing right?
Yes.
Start with equal, and then maybe b plus 1 or minus x, whatever, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then if I have a lot of data, then I have to use the function, then start
Yes.
with the formula of sum, and you have these equals, which I'm not very familiar with. And then that's basically, it's doing the same thing, but different quantity. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
We do
thank
not.
you.
If we have 100 different cells, we don't have to add them one by one like this plus this plus this plus this. We use sum
Yes.
and say from that cell to that. It is quick.
Oh, good. Now, I don't know how I have done before sometime when I have the numbers on the same cell, highlight them. For some reasons, I add them, I still find another answer somewhere. I don't know how that works. I didn't see you explaining on the same.
Can you repeat, please? I didn't get.
You see, I have been different values or numbers on the same cell, and then I
On the
highlight
same
them.
cell.
Yes, highlight them from maybe from 2 to yes. Then for some reasons I used to get some the total. I don't know how that I did before. Now I can't even go on the same route. I don't know whatever I was doing.
Maybe like this, and when you highlight it,
Yes.
it shows total on the bottom right.
Yes.
I mean that, yes. We see the total here. We see count and the average of these numbers. Let's another one. So if we do it even like this,
Yes.
this is the range that we highlighted, and we see here automatically average, count, and sum on the bottom right. You see it here.
Yes. Oh, well, thank you. I thought it was much easier than the formulas, but
Yes, yes.
formulas, I think they're better. Sure.
Yeah,
Thank you very much, Doctor, and thank you, Peter.
no problem. Maybe one quick thing that I wanted to show you also, you can use the cell as a calculator. We don't have to specify the cell. We can say plus 5 times 121, and it gives us like the calculator. It gives us the multiplication. If you want to sometimes quickly calculate something, let's say 15 times 12, it gives us 180.
Okay, now let's go to a question from Clinton.
Right. I don't know if I have an opportunity. I just wanted to demonstrate something. I've been struggling to remove a permanent fixed figure in an Excel template. I don't know how to explain it, but I prefer to show you something. Am I allowed, Dr. Lambert and Peter?
As far as I'm concerned, you can.
It's an Excel.
Sorry, doctor, you are muted. You are muted.
Sorry. Yes. Yes. Can you stop your presentation,
Okay,
Peter?
sure.
And then Clinton, you can go ahead and share your screen. You should see the button down below. And then you just choose your Excel.
When I share my screen, oh yeah, okay.
And then Peter, there's a question if people can contact you later regarding Excel.
Okay, can you see
Yes,
my
of
Excel?
course. I will provide my email. Yes,
Okay.
I can see it now. Okay.
Okay, I'm struggling. You see, I'm trying
Oh,
to
I see what you mean. Those are the freeze panes. When you go to view,
these
go to the
two.
view tab,
I go to
view toolbar on the top to the view,
view here. Yes.
and you go to the freeze panes in the middle. Freeze panes.
I go to
Right. Freeze panes. Yes.
yes.
Right
And
there.
you click the first unfreeze panes. Now
Oh,
you can.
all right. All right. Thanks very much. Good
No
job
problem.
done.
No problem.
Thanks, Dr. Norman. Thanks. I do the
Freeze-
same thing when I want to phrase it.
Freeze panes is good if you want to keep the column headings. But
Yeah.
if you don't want that, you have to get rid of them. So okay, do you have another question, Clinton?
Yeah, if I want to freeze it, let me go back. If I want to freeze it, freeze stop.
You can freeze only the first column, first row, but let's just unfreeze it. And let's just first we need to know what we want to freeze. Which
Oh, freeze
want to freeze.
freeze the first
Yeah.
column.
But it will freeze you the first empty column and row, so you will not get anything useful. Let's just unfreeze everything. So unfreeze panes. Okay. So
Okay.
what do you want to freeze? So up to the third row and C column, yeah.
I want to freeze up to column 4. Let me see, 1 up to 4.
Okay, so you want to 4 to go up and down and 3 to be frozen. Yeah. You click on the C4 cells first. C4 cell. No,
Like
C4
that.
cell. On the one, number 1. C4.
1.
So no, sorry. Cell C4, it is intersection of the column C and the row 4.
I just want 2 and 3. 2 and 3 only.
Yeah, just click on one cell and then you can freeze the rows and the columns around that.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So if you click, for example,
Okay, let me see. Stop Pro.
no.
How's
Sorry.
that going to work?
sorry, let's just say it like this. So you go in the C4 cell, click in the C4 cell.
See, you go down the column C to the fourth
Mhm.
cell and just click on that cell. No columns or rows, just click on that cell.
Where there is a number 1 inputted. You
Yeah.
see.
You're on
You see the
B2. You're on B2 right now. Go down to C4. Do you see how there's there's letters for the columns and numbers for the rows?
Yes, yes.
So go down column C until you reach row 4
Or-
and click on that
Or
cell.
click on that date below, 31st of 8 and
There you
20.
go.
Click there.
Right
Okay.
there.
So now
Stay,
go to
stay.
the freeze. Yes. So
Uh-huh.
go to the freeze panes.
Now go to freeze panes.
Now
Freeze.
first unfreeze, then freeze.
Freeze.
First option.
This one here.
No, click on the first option.
Well, let's see what you have now. I think you'll always see column A.
Yes. Click on the first option.
This one
Unfreeze.
here. This one.
Unfreeze.
First option.
Freeze top row.
The first. This one. Okay.
First option. No.
Did it happen?
There's the second. Click on the first option.
Which
This one
option?
here.
Yes. Click that. Click. And then again, go on. No, sorry. Yes. Click on the freeze panes. First
This
option.
way. Uh-huh.
And then
Now
yeah.
you can scroll and the title will stay.
Oh, yes. Good stuff. Good.
There you go.
Got it.
No problem.
Got it. Thanks a bunch. Thanks a bunch, guys.
No problem.
It's like learning how to drive a car.
I'm telling you. Yeah,
Okay, now
I'm
we go to
telling you.
Ismail.
Good job. Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Do we have more questions?
Ismail has a question.
He's muted. I don't know if he's speaking.
Do you see a message on your screen to unmute your mic? There you go. Great, Ismail.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Good evening, doctor. Good evening, Mr. Peter.
Good evening.
Yeah. My question is this. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, good. My question is this. Is it possible to use Excel to enter statistic and logical data using basic equation formulas? Can I repeat myself?
Yeah, can you repeat, please? So,
Okay.
if it is possible to use Excel for insertion of data, what kind of data?
Yeah, statistic and logical data using basic equation formulas.
Formulas are usually to sum or interpret already inserted data.
Yeah, I'm
We
talking
can
of
we can use complex automation to insert data, but formulas are mostly used for the interpretation of existing data that is already inserted. We can't use the formulas for insertion of data outside of Excel. We use the more complex automation options in toolbar.
Okay, you mean majorly for the statistic and the logical equation?
Yes. We have in the formulas we have window that is called logical formulas and financial and math and more other.
Yeah, please, can you
So we
give me
have
an
divided them.
example? Yeah, can you give me an example of this, please? Show
Okay,
me an
no.
example, yeah.
When we go to the formulas toolbar,
Yes,
we have financial, logical, textual, date, time, and other formulas. So for the logical formulas, take the logic of the already inserted data. Let's say if formula. If formula is almost like the one in the programming. I don't know, if in Python, for example. We say if this number is greater than 10, write something here like this. If this is the example of the logical formula. If this number is larger than 10, then we say larger. If it is not, just a second, I don't know. So we say 5, not large. We say 20 larger. well larger. This is the example of the logical formula. It checks for the logic of the cell. So if we have some data input form and we want the cell to tell us if tell us logic of the cell. This is the basic one. I simply asked if value in this cell is larger than 10. If it is, write something. If it is not, write something else. We can say if it is larger, use one formula. If it is not larger, use different formula. We can branch it out infinitely like that with the if formulas. If is the most famous logical formula in Excel, most widely used.
Okay. Hello?
Hi, I can hear you.
Yeah. What about in form of tabular form? Can it goes in form of tabular form?
How do you mean?
Yeah, what I mean is this. Can this goes in form of tabular form?
I don't understand. How do you mean in the tabular form?
Is that
Yeah,
where you
what I
use
mean.
commas between the numbers?
Yeah.
I think that's the CVS format of entering data, where you use commas between the
But
numbers.
we have,
But I'm not sure what tabular form is. I know it exists, but I don't remember what it is.
Yeah. What I mean is this. Hello?
yes, I can hear
Yeah.
you.
In a way, we arrange them in form of they have their own design of table, you know, in a
You mean
tabular form. Yeah.
tables like
Yeah.
I don't know, I don't have an example, but
Mm.
let me just input the random numbers here.
Yeah. This is what I mean. Good.
So you wanted this?
Yeah, in form of tabular form, it can be in form, statistic or logical way too. So I want to know whether it can be used.
Yes, like the table format. We can
Yeah,
sort
this
it.
is what,
We can
this
filter
is
it
what I
out.
mean. Yeah, good.
So this is very basic table, but it is table is when you insert the data in the different columns and different rows. So if you
Yeah,
insert
good.
it this way, we can have table, but someone could possibly insert this data like this.
Perfect.
So these are the two different logic of data insertion we have. Just a second. So this data and this. Difference is only the logic in which we input the data. So it is up to the user who inputs the data. If we input it like this, we input it like in the data table format. But this is
Yeah.
more like the database format where we go only
Yeah.
only down.
Yeah. Thank you. This is what
matrix.
I want. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Peter, I would guess, we at the end of the hour, do you have more time? Or do you want,
I have. What would you like to cover? Do you want another maybe a
I
couple
would
of
say
formulas?
if we can come back, you can come back and continue to talk about other things. I would suggest how to create tables would be a good one. How to create lists of things, and then some
Let me just write
examples
it
of
down.
maybe how to do like loan amortization or something, some practical things. But I was going to ask now if you could create a simple table, but I'm thinking, well, maybe you want to wait until next time to create the tables.
We can maybe wait to the next time, and then I can add a couple of different things. Maybe you and me can together work on the list of the things I think we can cover. Some a more practical
Yeah.
session. This was only the introduction.
Yeah, like if you're going to buy something and you need to take out a loan on that, you can do like a little loan
Yeah.
amortization table. And maybe eventually you can get into some financial analysis if you're doing a business plan, for example, and you want to show some cash flow projections.
We can maybe find a couple of examples for that, for the cash flow, for the loan amortization, for the loan repayment. We can also create the input format when you insert the loan volume and the interest rate, and you get automatically calculated how do you say rent, not rent, sorry, on top of my head.
Yeah.
Monthly payment that you pay, how do you
Yeah.
say?
Yeah. Come back with those and let's keep this going because there's so much. Like you say, you could teach Excel for 10 hours.
Oh, wow.
We can create a couple of another
Truly,
couple of more
there's
of these.
so much you can do with Excel.
Yes. Thank you guys for your time, and it was an honor to present and show you.
Oh, were you going to
my
give your
work.
email?
Yes. I will. Can I maybe paste it in
You can
the
write
chat?
it into
Yes.
chat and make sure you write it to everyone.